John Edwards for Griffins TV alongside head soccer coach Brian Haddock. And coach, district finals tonight, and you beat a tough Parkway South team the other night.
It was a dogfight, and we knew it would be. Parkway South, they played a really good game, played well enough to win, and everything they showed us is what we were expecting. We knew it would be probably a one-goal game. Whether it was OT or not, we knew it would come down to a goal, and it would have been nice to get one a little bit earlier. But, it was a hallmark to our defense all year, our whole defensive effort. When the ball wasn't going in, we're just trying to stress to our guys to keep ourselves in the game, and that's kind of what happened.
Seemed like a very physical contest from where I was watching. It was a little bit of a scrappy tilt.
It was, but it was all clean. There was no nastiness going on, too nasty, I should say. But it's high school soccer, and it's to be expected, and to be expected even more this time of year.
You take on Eureka tonight in the finals, a team that you're very familiar with. You lost to them in the district finals last year. You just beat them a couple weeks ago in penalty kicks, but you hold the overall advantage over them over the last couple of years. You're 5-2 against them. Expecting another physical contest tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, adjectives, physicality. They bring a unique speed, especially in their attack with them, which is hard to combat. Toughness in their back line. They've got a very athletic goalkeeper, in Coffee. He's a senior. But so do we, and I think it's going to be a really good matchup for the fan that wants to catch a good soccer game. It's going to be a fast-paced game. I would suspect a lot of dead ball situations, both from near and far, and corner kicks, throw-ins, that sort of stuff. But again, a nice, hard, clean match is what we expect.
The elements the other night, the temperature was fine. It was just very windy the other night down on the field level. And talk about how that plays into the style of game that you guys play. When you have the wind, sometimes you feel good, but I think sometimes you work out of your element. You almost rely too much on the wind, and it kind of brings you out of your game. I think it's a neutralizer in that sort of regard. When you don't have the wind, if it is going distinctly one way or the other, I think it actually forces your team to focus a little bit more. So I don't know how much the wind plays a role unless it does just stop or change. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor in the contest, just as long as we can use it to our advantage. Any pressure on this team after playing Eureka a couple weeks ago, losing to them in the district final last year?
Pressure for us. I mean, we've had pressure in all 22, 23 games we've played this year, so I think we're ready for that.
In 27 games.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm underestimating our schedule, I guess, but we've got no cupcakes on our schedule, and Eureka is one of those teams that we've seen before, but I think they'll make maybe some changes, and and I think we could do the same thing, especially with our our first 15 minutes. We'd like to improve on. You referenced the first game a few weeks back. I thought our first few minutes of the game could have been better, and I think we're going to improve on that tonight.
In the contest the other night, and I know kind of we're reversing our way back to it, but it seemed like Parkway South did a good job in controlling your midfield at points and times, and it was tough for players like Ryan Puricelli to kind of dictate where the ball went a little bit.
In soccer and big games like this, I think you look back on the result, no matter what it is. I think games are won and lost in the middle of the field. It's kind of the focal point. We really stress that as well with some of our seniors. But yeah, Parkway South did a really good job both in the physical aspect, and I think they, and a testament to them, they didn't hold back. They not only did they defend hard in their backfield, but they attacked. And that's hard to combat. A team that maybe you suspect is going to bring players behind the ball. While they did that, like you said, they made Ryan's job a little bit tougher. They made Ian's job tougher. They put always a body on Steven, and they initiated the play, and it was tough to get through that. Hence the score.
Also going back one more time, talk about the game-winning goal in overtime. It looked like a very basic throw-in from the situation, but it seemed like the goalkeeper overplayed it a little bit.
Yeah, he was really aggressive on that. I went back to see it, so the ball came in off actually a throw-in. So again, we're talking about a dead ball situation. And the one thing that we've really talked about as a team is that second ball. And I know it's a cliche in soccer, but sometimes these ensuing goals happen, maybe not on the first redirect, but the second one. And that's a great example of how we didn't win the first ball. The goalie came out and really, as a keeper, he did his job. He just angled it the wrong way, and it, fortunately for us, went right to Steven. And you give him 6 inches, a foot of space to bury one, and he will, and he did there.
Talk about your team this year. Dead ball situations. The team has done quite well this year in dead ball situations, whether it been throw-ins this year or free kicks from, say, 35 yards and in. Your team has been very successful. Is that something that you guys work on on a regular basis?
We do. We do it on a daily basis. Now, what that dead ball is, could change depending on the opponent. But, corner kicks are always huge. We work on penalty kicks, which is a huge thing, especially if you look at some of our victories this year, coming down to overtime and penalty kicks. I think doing those over and over in game situations at practice only prepares your guys for that moment. It's tough to mimic the pressure of a penalty kick or a corner kick in the waning moments of the game, or even a dead ball from 18 yards out. But the more you can do that at practice, I think mentally, when your guys know that you're ready for it, that's the best you can do. And we try to put our guys in the hopper every day at practice in those.
I know these boys are very interested in seeing what's going on around in-state playoff action. Any reaction to Chaminade's win last night over SLU High?
Not from me, but maybe from the players. I haven't even talked to the guys about that. We're just worried about tonight's game in Eureka, but I'm sure they got friends on those teams that they were tweeted about or texted with after the game.
Coach, best of luck tonight against Eureka.
Thank you.